Go.
Hey guys, coach of the Portland Timbers here, and this is going to be a team recap of my team. So in the draft, I was the sixth pick, and the first pick that I got was Manaphy to start off my draft. And I got Manaphy just because one, I was sniped from Victini, so I needed a good pixie Pokemon that hit hard and is just an overall threat. Manaphy, great coverage with like Scald, Ice Beam, Energy Ball, greatest setup move in the game being Tail Glow. Can also be run bulky with Rain Dance Rest. And it's just an overall hard hitter. I knew that I had to get it round one because it wasn't going to be sitting there round two. And then I originally had Mega Blastoise, but I did some transactions and I ended up getting Mega Venusaur. Now, Mega Venusaur is overall very, very bulky with a base 123 defense, base 120 special defense. So it's a great wall. Pretty straightforward what it's going to run, but it doesn't matter just because it tanks so many hits with a thick fat ability. Basically, just filter, but it Giga Drain for reliable recovery along with Synthesis or Leech Seed. You've got Sludge Bomb, HP Fire, very common to touch steel types such as Ferrothorn, so you're not completely walled. Also, you can run physical sets with Growth, Sunny Day if you were to not Mega Evolve. Sunny Day Chlorophyll with Growth because you get double growth, and then run Body Slam and Outrage could be a very interesting set. Probably throw your opponent off very much, but that was my second OU pick. And then finally, I have Skarmory for my OU picks. I picked Skarmory just because it's a very, very reliable hazard setter. Also can defog them away. And with the base 140 defense, if you make it a special defensive variant, it's it's got great special defense and defense, so it can tank basically any hit. Plus the sturdy ability also helps as well. It could also be a setup sweeper with the weak armor ability. You could run like Swords Dance weak armor, and it's a very very good wall. And I just knew that I had to have it on my team because it walls stuff and it can set up hazards very reliably. And then on to UU. So my first UU pick, I knew that I had to get this Mon. I knew that I had to get this Mon because it walls everything. It's so hard to cripple this Mon. You almost can't cripple it. That's for Uniclus. Its Magic Guard ability makes it probably the best walling Pokemon in the game. You can't Toxic or Burn it. You can't use Stealth Rocks. You can't use Hail or Sandstorm. You have to full on hit this thing. And it can Calm Mind, set up and sweep you. And if you don't have the right physical attackers, you're hosed. And it has great coverage with Energy Ball, Shadow Ball, of course, Psychic Stab. It's got Signal Beam, Thunder. So it hits hard with its good Calm Mind setup. And it's very, very hard to weaken this Pokemon due to its Magic Guard ability, or you could run Regenerator if you wanted to just hit something and then switch out. Also, it gets Flash Cannon to deal with fairies. Then next, I had this Pokemon in my head. I did get sniped by Victini, so I had this Pokemon in mind, and I'm IMO. It's not as good as Victini, but it's pretty similar, and that Pokemon's Entei. Choice Banded Entei, nothing's gonna appreciate a Sacred Fire. Even if they take it, it's a 50% chance to burn. So you're basically rolling a two-sided dice, and those are pretty good odds for a burn. Great coverage Gets Iron Head, Stone Edge, Fire Stab. Could also run a special set because its special attack is nothing to laugh at, with Shadow Ball, Solar Beam, like Fire Blast. But also Scarfed Entei is also very, very useful due to it being base 100 speed. And Extreme Speed Priority is also very nice. And Entei is straightforward. Yes, that's very true, but it doesn't matter because nothing takes the Sacred Fire. Nothing will appreciate it. And then our last UU pick, which again was originally a Tangrowth. It was weird transactions, but I picked up Sylveon. I needed a fairy, and Sylveon, I think besides Mega Gardevoir and Mega Diancie is the best fairy in the game because Hyper Voice Pixelate Stab hits so hard, so hard. With the base 110 special attack, it hits tremendously hard, and it gets psychic moves to deal with your poison types. HP Ground is very effective to deal with poison and steel. Also has Shadow Ball to deal with psychic types. And this thing can be ran bulky as well with leftovers due to its extremely high special defense stat at 130. This thing could take almost anything, and fairies rule the meta. Fairies are the best typing in the game. So if you have a very good fairy, your team looks very, very good. So I knew that I had to get Sylveon, and if I didn't get Sylveon, I'd be in trouble. So now we're done with OU and UU. Now on to RU and NU. Now my first RU pick was Electros. I needed a good pivot from Volt Switch, and this thing has tremendous coverage. The coverage is unreal. Flash Cannon, Giga Drain, Flamethrower, Electric Stab. You want to run a bulky set. You got Dragon type moves such as Outrage, Knock Off. Let's see here. Brick Break, Aqua Tail, Signal Beam for the special, Rock for the physical. This Pokemon just gets so much. It almost gets every typing in the game to use. So it's hard to prep for this thing because it can do so many different things. And it's got a great offensive presence because 115 attack or 105 special attack. The special attacking variant is more common, but attacking is pretty good as well. Just because of Outrage, it's so hard with 115. But another thing is Assault Vested. It takes a lot of hits because you're not going to run a lot of status on this thing. But this thing has no weaknesses if you're not counting Mold Breaker. This thing has 0 weaknesses with the Levitate ability. So I knew that I had to get it. I needed a pivot. And then on to my next RU pick. I was looking at my draft and I saw I had no dragon. So I was looking at an RU and I saw Flygon. And I knew that I needed Flygon because it adds an electric weakness or an electric it nullifies electric types. And it's a hard-hitting dragon. Base 100 attack, base 100 speed. That's really all you need in a Flygon. Scarf, Band, Life Orb, whatever you want. It's got a good special attacking move pool as well. Bug Buzz, Boomburst, Draco. It's pretty good as well, but I knew I needed Flygon. It's probably the best dragon type in RU, and there isn't really good dragons in NU, so I knew I needed Flygon because it gives me a check or a counter to electric types, and it hits so hard with Outrage. So then my next for my last RU pick, I was still salty about Victini because my whole draft was based on Victini, but I wanted something that could stop it, and I've been watching the GBA for a while, and I've always seen Lars use this strategy against A Drive to try and counter his Victini, so I just picked up Dredagon. It was kind of like a pick, like there's not much left in RU, so I was just like, sure, let me have this. Probably won't use it that much, but I just figured Victini's a huge threat, so I'd like a decent check to it. Plus, Rough Skin Rocky Helmet is also very good. To have offensive is very good. 120 attack, but I don't really have much to say about Dredagon. It's kind of just the pick was kind of just there. Like it does get glare and hazards, but it was just kind of there, and I didn't want to put all the dragon pressure on Flygon, so I just picked up Dredagon. But then I went into NU, and so I needed a spinner. I didn't want to put all the defogging or hazard removal pressure on Skarmory, so I figured I needed to get a spinner. And that spinner, I decided, would have to be Hitmonchan. I hadn't gotten a fighting type up until now, and Hitmonchan has priority. It has all the elemental punches, and it's got rapid spin. And this thing, believe it or not, its highest stat is a 110 special defense. So it could take a lot of hits that I need it to, which is perfect. It can rapid spin and then live a hit, or mock punch, live a hit, do another mock punch. But it also gets bullet punch, so it can have double priority or triple if you want to count fake out. So I just needed a spinner, and Hitmonchan was right there since I didn't get Hitmonlee or top. So I got myself a Hitmonchan. And then my last NU pick was first of all an Aggron, but I just made a transaction to trade that out for the one and only Cindy the Gastrodon. And Gastrodon, I think, is the best Pokemon in NU. I don't even think it's a question. I think it should be higher than NU because this thing is amazing. It's pretty bulky. Like 68 defense and 82 special defense doesn't look like much, but when it only has one weakness and Rindoberry Mirror Coat is a thing, it's pretty hard to face. And a curse physical set is very scary as well. As if you have nothing to take that, Curse Waterfall and Curse Earthquake will end your life. It gets Clear Smog to deal with the setup sweepers. And this thing is just so bulky. It's got longevity and toxic, of course. It wins a lot of Star Wars. It's just a very, very bulky mon. And it can take a lot of hits. It can also dish out damage. Scald burns, so it can win Star Wars if it burns. Because it can just start recovering all it wants. And I just knew I needed Cindy on the team. Aggron was good initially. It's just all he really did was hazards, and he kind of gets bodied by a lot of things. So next on to PU. So my first PU pick was literally just a pick because I could do whatever I want with it. And I picked Smeargle. I really have nothing to say about Smeargle. Its stats are atrocious. The only thing good about it is PU. Or not PU. That's the tier. It's its move pool. It gets every move in the game because there's always a situation where you can sketch a certain move. So that's good, I guess. Its stats are horrible. It's got like 20 base attack. So it's not good at all. I just knew some people were gonna pick it up. So I wanted to, like, I don't know, if I have to run like a support cleric, I don't have to attack with that thing, then I guess it's useful. But that's like the only reason I picked up Smurl. And then my last pick of the draft was the last viable mon that I saw that I definitely needed. It's a spin blocker, it being a ghost type, and I picked up Gorgeist. So Gorgeist is very, very good. I personally like the super and large because they're more bulky and they can leech seed you, and you can't high jump kick when they're around because they're taking 50% because it's considered a miss if you high jump kick a ghost type unless you're scrappy. So it walls a good amount of things. It's got priority, got longevity, and it's just an overall great mon. And nothing much in PU that's worth getting. So I knew if there was something that at least has some viability, I better pick it up. But yeah, that's my draft, and I hope I do good this season.